Welcome back. This is Tuhon Aditya from LightHaven, and today we're going to be re-looking at something, a concept that we generally think we have a pretty good grasp of, which is our Sinawali. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. We're going to start with the what first and then go to the why. Now, generally when we talk about the Sinawali, we are talking about weaving motions. And most often, the most common Sinawali patterns that you see is what's generally called your heaven 6, or all three attacks are high, or your heaven and earth, which is high, low, high, high, low, high, low or medium, but it's up, down, up. These are the two most common patterns that we find within the Sinawali. Now, a lot of people think that that is what a Sinawali is, but actually Sinawali has many variations within it. What I am trying to get you guys to sort of think about is, generally, almost always, we're thinking about when we're fighting or when we're flowing, we think that we need to start our Sinawali or our weaving patterns from this position, where one hand's on my shoulder, one hand's by my hip. Whichever variation that I'm trying to do, I'm generally starting from this position. But that's not actually the case, and I'm going to give you one variation that can start you along the way of thinking or exploring other loading positions from which you can begin your Sinawali flow. I'm going to break the why into two parts. The first is why Sinawali patterns, and the second is why do we want different loading positions to be able to go into these patterns with. Now, regardless of whether you are training the Filipino martial arts for martial aspect, for fighting or self-defense, or you just really like the fluidity, the flow, the movement, all of the stuff that brings you, regardless of whichever reason you're practicing the Filipino martial arts for, being able to flow with your double stick or single stick is super important. If you're doing it for fighting, then I don't want to be sort of caught in the middle of a fight, not knowing how to coordinate my weapons and attack with both weapons and make the most of my double weapons. And if I'm just doing it for flow, having more variations or more understanding, or better understanding of what it is that I'm doing, just enhances the possibilities and the different ways by which I can express myself through this medium. The second part is, why do I want different loading positions, or why do I want to be able to start my weaving patterns from different loading positions? It's really simple, because in a fight, I may not always have time to be here. I might be going from here, or I might be here, or I might be maybe even here, and I want to be able to string together combinations or weaving patterns from any loading position. The first thing to understand is that a Sinawali pattern does not have to be on a count of 3. I do not always have to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Either I'm counting it as a 3 or a 6, but I do not need to stick to that count. There are 4 count Sinawalis, there are 5 count Sinawalis. It really depends on which variation you want to do at that point of time. However, for the sake of simplicity, we are going to be sticking to a 3 count. But like I said earlier, we're not going from here. We're going to be starting from a shoulder load. Now, this can be substituted for some sort of something like this, where both my hands are making circles in front of me, or any sort of position where your hands are here. If you don't have time to go here, or if you don't have time to go here, both my weapons are presented facing my opponent, and I'm going from this sort of open ready position. My combination starts with an angle 1 on my right hand, and then followed by an angle 1 on my left hand. Again, if you've been following this channel, you know about the principles of double weapons that I constantly talk about, where you have following motions, where you have crossing motions, and you have motions that combine following and crossing. So here we're going to be crossing. So you angle 1 right hand, and then it's being crossed by an angle 1 on my left hand. Now that leads me to this sort of odd crossed hand position. Now I can very easily, really simple things to do from here is I can come back with my right hand again, either reverse diagonal, horizontal, whatever, and then come back again with my left hand, and then you'll end up back in this open position. Or what I want to do for that 3 count is I'm going to go right hand, left hand, and now my right hand is going to come back with an angle 2. So I'm basically going angle 1, angle 2 with my right hand, and with my left hand I'm going angle 1, angle 4, or angle 1, umbrella. So the whole combination looks like angle 1 with my right hand, angle 1 with my left hand. I'm going to go angle 2 with my right hand and umbrella angle 4 with my left hand at the same time. And I come into this sort of simultaneous where I am using this as an umbrella and I'm using this to hit my hand, simultaneous almost gunting like position. And I come back into my open load position. Now I only don't want to do this on one side, so I don't always want to start with my right hand, then my left hand, and then come back and then again right hand. I want to be able to keep alternating sides. So whichever hand does the umbrella, that's the hand that's going to come back with an angle 1. So now my left hand goes angle 1, umbrella, angle 1, or angle 1, angle 4, angle 1, and the third angle 1 is the beginning of the next combination. So we have angle 1, gunting, angle 1, gunting, angle 1, angle 1, angle 1, angle 1, 1, 1, bang, 1, 1, bang. I'm going to show you a simpler variation of this if you're struggling to get this right. You can also just go angle 1, and just cross as you open. Angle 1, cross as you open. Angle 1, cross as you open. Just remember that whichever hand I'm starting with, the next round starts with the other hand. So if I'm starting with my right hand, as I'm crossing and opening, my left hand is going to start the next set. Crossing and opening, right hand starts the next set. And it's up to you if you are doing what I am doing right now, open triangle footwork, whether you want to go same hand, same leg, or whether you want to go opposite hand, opposite leg. So I'm stepping with my left leg, striking with my right hand. Stepping with my right leg, striking with my left hand. The first thing to watch out for is that when you are crossing, to work from this position takes a little bit of practice. It's going to feel a bit odd because you're going to feel a bit jammed in. So give yourself a little bit of time. Also figure out how deep you want your hands to be or how close you want them to be in relation to your body. If they're too close, again you might find your stick getting stuck or hitting yourself. So that's going to change according to everybody's body type, but practice is what's going to help you develop that coordination and that sensitivity as to know where is the ideal loading position when I'm crossing, so that I can come out with some sort of an attack, whether it's horizontal, gunting, or any other variation that we might follow the first two attacks up with. The second thing to watch out for is something that I go on and on about, is knowing where your edge is. So you remember that you're cutting, and then this might be my umbrella, so that might be the flat, depends on how you do the umbrella, whereas this hand is cutting. So be very aware at all points where your edge is. The third thing to watch out for is that if you are using the 4 as an umbrella, then make sure that it is an umbrella and that your head is not exposed, that you are covering your head as you are attacking your opponent's hand at the same time. And lastly, remember that I am sharing this with you almost like a template to get you started as to thinking, okay, this is one of the things that's possible, where I'm still sticking to the 3 count, but I am going from a open guard position, whether it's here and I'm going, or whether I'm going from here. But there are many other ways that you can work the same thing. You can go into a 4 count, you can go into a 5 count, but really play around with having your sticks here, beginning here, because we have to start from somewhere before we get comfortable enough to go from here. And from this open position, find different ways of flowing into different patterns, attack high, attack low, cross your sticks, follow your sticks, play around with it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. Please do subscribe to the channel. All of these things really do help out the channel and the school a lot. A huge thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to know more about our Patreon page, check out the link I'm going to leave in the description down below. Lastly, if you'd like to see more content based around the Sinawali patterns, check out the link I'm going to leave up here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next video.